Seekers, seers, shifters, welcome. Thank you for joining me. So you can be any sign because it's not about your sign, although if something to do with a specific sign will come up with any of these readings, then I will of course mention it. Um, we'll have 3 tarot readings, one for seekers, one for seers, one for shifters, wherever whichever you see yourself as, wherever you think you're at on the journey. You are welcomed to watch all 3 readings just to see if you resonate with all of them or some of them or not. Whatever, if do you, boo? Um, if you're watching the recording and you feel inclined to timestamp this for us, that would be fantastic. And thank you in advance. And that way you guys can jump to either. My name is Morgainne. If you're new, keep calm and carry on, or rage at the injustice and do something about it. I don't know what your approach is, but whatever is fitting. Okay. Why am I taking a moment? How are you guys? Feel free to let me know in the comment section. I actually read all the comments, and I am actually curious about what's going on with you because, well, if you follow my work and you listen to my words, then if you choose to do that, then I would love to know, to have an impression and an understanding of the energetic demographic and your state of affairs. Maybe it will inspire me to create certain content in accordance. Maybe not. But either way, I'd love to get to know you guys better. And you're like, oh, you're just saying that because comments help the algorithm. That's true. And that is also true. It's not only true. It's two truths can coexist. But I first and foremost actually do care about you. So yeah, so if you're no if. Hi, welcome. Either way. Thank you for being here. I'm gonna work with the Rider-Waite Tarot. I've been a Tarotchi for nearly half my life in this life. I co-authored a book about tarot. I have an online tarot masterclass that you can find. It's available for unlimited streaming, 90 classes as a on channel membership. I am way better at talking over there. And you can also, if you prefer not to be a channel member and you'd rather just kind of purchase it separately, and you can find it also on Patreon. So if you're about that, why do I feel the need to introduce myself? That's interesting. And I usually don't do that. So maybe this reading is drawing in new people, new seekers, seers, and shifters. I do do readings by the zodiac sign sometimes, but I'm going to start to do readings for seekers, seers, and shifters, and maybe other categories as well. We'll see about that. But first and foremost, I'm going to introduce this today here. Hi. And today is whenever you're tuning in. The now is whenever you're tuning in. That's what I'm focusing on. That it will reach you in your now moment, in your timeline, whenever you need to hear these messages or this message. I usually don't do the introduction because I don't feel entitled to waste your time with talking about myself. I mean that, like, I don't feel comfortable about that. I'm like, why would they care? Uh, it's not about me. I don't know. I feel strange about it, so I just don't do it. I will occasionally say my name because maybe you want to say hi to me, but often I don't. But today I felt inclined. Interesting. Okay. Maybe it's for a good reason. Maybe some of you wanted to know. Maybe I'm just maybe I'm just self-absorbed. Maybe I don't know. I don't know. What am I saying? What am I doing? Stop talking. Let the cards talk. Thank you. Let's start with seekers. I've had okay. I'll share it because it's coming up. I've had really, really, really painful, challenging couple of days. I'm born and raised Israeli, and I'm recording this a couple of days after during the hostage swaps and the return of the Bibas family that has just put me in a position to practice um, sanity. Not an easy feat. And why am I bringing this up? How can this be beneficial to anyone right now? Maybe, maybe they deserve to have their name spoken. Um, maybe they deserve to be remembered, acknowledged, known, focused on, have merit sent to the afterlife. Um, Mostly, maybe sending love and merit and strength and energy to Yarden Bibas because it's his wife Shiri Bibas and his two little boys, toddler Ariel, 4 years old, and infant Kfir, 9 months old, who have had their lives taken brutally in cold blood. And also Oded Lifshitz, who's not part of the family, but he was another Israeli that had his life taken in a terrible manner. So let's send their spirit prayers and into Yarden, who's still amongst the living, but I can't even imagine. He just came back from captivity. You know what? I'm dedicating this reading is not about them. It's about you, and whatever needs to come out will come out. But I'm dedicating my work today, um, and whatever energy I incur from it for them. Beautiful orange family. Okay. Maybe I just needed to express that. Now let's start with the reading. 7 minutes and 33 seconds. I'm going to start with seekers. Message for seekers. What do my seekers need to know now as they're tuning in to this video? What do seekers need to know now as they're tuning in to this video? Okay. Interesting. We have the Tower and Page of Wands. There's something in your life that is collapsing. Literally, the tower falls down and breaks down a certain structure, a certain narrative, maybe day to day, something. It's breaking down quite dramatically, and you're just turning away from it and utilizing it, kind of transmuting the energy to practice beginner's mind and seek new horizons. You're like, I'm done. I don't want to be a part of it. I don't want to, you know, be taken by this situation. I don't want this to affect me. I don't want this to hurt me. I don't want this to, I'm choosing to not involve myself in it and walk away towards something different. The light got turned off for whatever reason. I'm going to turn it back on. Give me one moment. I'm in a smart house where the lights turn on with like movement sensors, and I can't stand it. Because if I sit at the desk long enough and not move around the room, then the lights will turn off. And it's like, what if I want to be in the dark, moving around and not have the light on? What if I want to sit, not moving around, and have the light on? That's not so smart, is it? Anyway, maybe you were debating if to have a smart house or not, and now you're like, oh, maybe I don't want that. Show me more, please, for seekers. By the way, Page of Wands, the ultimate seeker, spiritual seeker, anthropologist, adventurer, um, cultural researcher, archaeologist, Indiana Jones type. Maybe you're like, I'm done with with this BS. I want to travel. I want to have an adventure. You're like, no, no, I'm not traveling or having an adventure. This is in my mind. I'm moving away from that in my mind. Seven of Cups. I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to feel that. That would be this. I just want to rest and focus or be in my dreams. Maybe you just want to binge Netflix. Maybe you just want to watch movies, read books, manifest a different reality for yourself. Some of you are tuning out in a way that is escapism, in a way that is just can't cope. It hurts too much. Eight of Wands. But interestingly enough, it's going to work for you. It's working for you. You're actually manifesting movement. Um, maybe maybe you're like crafting your perfect trip, right? Your dream destination, your dream adventure, and you're just taking your time to kind of dream about it and fantasize about it, and then boom, you're actually simultaneously doing something and you manifest it, or some communication comes in that opens up a path that is in alignment with that. Could be an invitation of some sort, could be a person that invites you on something. And you're like, yes, perfect timing. I can't wait to get out of this and that and just be on the go. The sun. Literally experience the sun, maybe. Um, Having fun, releasing tension, focusing on joy, focusing on positive, adventurous spirit. And I see it working for you. Okay, denial and escapism also exist in the human condition for a reason. Sometimes when the system is so overwhelmed with something so chaotic and so painful, possibly even tragic, then that's how the system kind of protects itself, because feeling it all is just, it's too much. You'll emotionally collapse. So I think you went somewhere, right, to cope, but don't judge yourself. You had to the system had to kind of shut down for a moment before it could get kick-started. Um, your mind and your psyche needed that moment in time. So give yourself that if you're in that place, or um, don't be upset with yourself, or don't judge yourself for having been in that place, because around the corner there's something really, really fun. Actually, Eight of Wands and the Sun and the Page of Wands. It's fun. It's exciting. It's new. It's maybe not so new, but possibly. And it's very real. It's very true. Oh, there's a level of success. This could be an opportunity of some sort, financial opportunity. Maybe you've just filed taxes and you're getting a really, fat refund. Amen. Um, Maybe you're deciding to so detach yourself from this, whatever this tower represent, that you're literally creating a new style for yourself when it comes to how you look, how you dress, your hair. Venus is about to go retrograde when I'm recording this. So maybe don't do something too eccentric or too different, because you might regret it. But small tweaks or redoing something that you've already done, maybe going back to a hairstyle that you really liked, or going vintage with a style that you used to wear and haven't, um, whatever, right? So things are really looking up. Show me more, please, about this for secret. That's a lot. That's interesting. Nine of Swords, High Priestess, Ace of Swords. Okay. It's like this looming thing that has happened. You already know what this is. It's the first card out. It's me feeling overwhelmed with the human condition and trying to come to terms with the earth splitting into actual light versus darkness, that some aspects of darkness can't be integrated. They've gone too far off. And a lot of people are going to resist what I'm just saying, but that's because you haven't endured certain atrocities that don't allow you, thankfully, I hope you'll never come to learn that, don't allow you to truly understand certain things. Um, and this Nine of Swords, I feel like it's something along those lines. Like there's this emotional, psychological um, surrender and acceptance to something you don't want to accept. You didn't want to accept. You didn't want to surrender to, because, well, if that's true, then what? Let's see if I wave at it. No, I gotta stand. Oh, there. Oh, waving helped. Okay. If you surrender to it, if you accept that that's the case, that that's the situation, that that's the reality, you're not just accepting that specific situation, but you're accepting what it symbolizes and what it means, and it existing and being true and real. It's like you can't unsee, right? Your eyes are painfully wide open. Here are the things that create most suffering. A, extreme ignorance. B, the opposite end of it, absolute awareness. And your eyes are wide open to seeing things, to the range, the real range of existence. And hence acknowledging the dark to the dark, right? Um, and this is like a real eureka, a real recognition of this truth about life, that whatever it is that you've been facing has kind of forced you to recognize and acknowledge. And so, it's the smarter you are, the wiser you are, the more pain potential there is. When you're intelligent, like, I mean, really intelligent. A lot of people are intelligent, but I mean, like, intelligent. And you can tell, where people are actually coming from, and why they're actually saying the things they're saying, where you're like, oh my God, I wish I didn't see that, or I wish I wasn't aware of that, or I wish I didn't pick that up about that person or about their reasons. My life would have been so much simpler, so much easier, things like that. So you're incorporating this understanding into your wisdom, be it spiritual, cognitive, and energetic, emotional, physical. It's a lot to transmute. It's a lot to come to terms with, but there is light in the darkest places. And the yin yang symbol, the black half has a small white circle in it, and that's the gateway to the um, white half that also has a black circle in it, which is the gateway to the shadow. So every extreme aspect of our polarity has this tiny portal that can jump you straight to the other side without even going through the process of, the range of, the rainbow, the balance, the in between. So from the darkest moment, in the darkest places, you somehow also encounter the light, but it's a different kind of light. It's not like optimistic butterflies. It's the light of knowing and having to not just surrender and accept, but kind of sit with it and take it in, and not only take it in, choosing not to fight it because, well, this is not just a weird slip. This is actually a real existence, a real aspect, a deep one, an intense one of our existence. What individual can actually fight that or process that or transmute that? I mean, it requires being able to contain the cosmos, and we're fragmentation of the cosmos. I don't know how a fragmentation of the cosmos can contain the cosmos, although that could be cool, and maybe a Zen master will be able to explain that. But I don't, I can't. I don't want to even start because I'll get a headache. I already have a headache. So, Seeker, this is a really intense reading, where you're experiencing something really, really challenging and difficult. It overwhelms you, and then you gain some sort of enlightenment or an understanding of reality, and it's not a fun one. You do not think, oh, when I'll experience this type of awakening or awareness, you do not expect to feel this way because, we have the very false perception that awakening is or awareness is somehow lovey and dovey and fun and easy. It's brutal sometimes. And you're like, whoa, when I went off my spiritual quest and journey, I did not think that that's the type of thing I'm practicing to be able to contain. The good news is if you're able to contain so much darkness, you're definitely able to contain so much light. And that's what makes you in a place to actually be able to heal yourself and others and guide yourself and others. So seekers, this is profound. And good luck with it. And I hope it somehow gives a weird sense of come on, a weird sense of ease, or I don't know, I hope it helps pretty much. Okay. You guys are being really quiet. You're welcome to say hi in the chat. Okay. Next is seers. Message for seers for now, what they need to know now as they're tuning in, whenever they're tuning in. Garjin, hi Morgainne, just arrived. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining. Seekers, second reading for seekers, 23 minutes and 50 seconds. Seers, what do my seers need to know? The seers were tuning in. What do seers need to know now? We have Page of Cups. I mean, that reading was, let's see what seers will bring. Okay, show me more, please. We have Page of Cups. Judgment. Ooh, interesting combination. If a 7-year-old can be a Buddha, why don't you listen to this person? Or why would they won't listen to you? Now, if someone is not listening to you, just there's nothing you can do about it. You can't force anyone to hear you. You can force people to hear you, but you can't force them to listen to you. So yelling or expressing yourself against, if someone doesn't want to hear it, just don't cast pearls in front of swine. But if you're on the other end of it, I'm picking up on seers that need to check themselves on what they claim to believe in, right? The slogans, the quotes, the belief system, whatever, versus how they actually act in their day to day. Could be specifically with this specific person. Um, it's like this seemingly humble individual, like it's a page. It's not a queen, it's not a king, not even a knight. Like a young, could be a young person, or could be a seemingly inexperienced person. Whatever the case may be, there's a perception of them being smaller relatively to what should be able to speak spiritual judgment or yeah, whatever. Um, so which one is it, right? If a 7-year-old can be a Buddha, but this person can't be a Buddha, what do you actually believe in? It's not just for Buddhists. It's like it's just an example. Like someone, you have resistance of some sort towards someone or something that in your theory and in your talks and in your philosophy or in your reading, yeah, etc., you you presume to like be a person who would not have resistance. Does that make sense? So again, I feel guided to say, so which one is it? This reading to my seers out there is kind of calling you out on a certain level of a certain level of hypocrisy. Sorry, why am I apologizing? Either take it or leave it. Um, Two of Wands, the bottom of the deck. It's like Two of Wands and Ace of Wands. This is one of those things where you can't think both ways or do both things. No, okay. It's like you carry these two, like this theory versus this approach, and you're like, combine the theory with your approach to life. Like practice what you preach, pretty much. Salsa. Hi, Salsa. Hello from Australia. I love listening to you talk. So sorry for being rude. Why do you think you're being rude? You're not being rude. You're saying hello. Hello back. Because once these two get integrated, things will start manifesting. First of all, there will be alignment in your essence, and your actions will start. If there's alignment inside of you, then there's alignment in your actions, in your speech, in your talk, right? And when there's alignment in your actions, there's alignment in your reality and in the things that you create. There's no more like contradiction in conflicting situations. And from there you can really grow, right? Because if it's half an orange seed and half an apple seed, I don't know if any tree will grow. So either mix the seeds together and combine them into one seed and have a hybrid of orange apple, or choose one specific seed, but don't just leave two halves separate kind of in the soil and be like, oh, let's see what happens. Nothing will happen, or something weird will happen. I've gone way too much into this analogy, but I think you're getting the picture. Okay, show me more about this. for seers. King of Wands. So from Two of Wands to One of Wands to Ace of Wands to King of Wands, once you integrate, once you walk the talk, you become a master of whatever this is. This theory, this belief, this approach, this whatever. And then you can also lead with it. People follow what you do. They see what you do. Okay. And it's like your kids are not going to do what you tell them to do. They're going to do what you do. Your animals are not going to listen to what you say to them. They're going to react to what it is that you do or don't do. Right? If you tell them that they're being a bad dog over something bad that they did, but then you're giving them a treat, then they're not going to recognize that what they did is wrong. They're actually going to recognize that what they did is good. And they're going to keep doing that, and then you're going to get upset. Why does my dog keep doing that? Because you keep rewarding them when they're doing something you don't want them to do. And you think to yourself, well, that will make them love me and see how amazing I am, and they'll want to be kind to me. They're a dog. They're amazing. They're angelic. It can apply to all animals, but they read what you do. It's a different language. But it actually applies to people too. Say one thing and you do another, people are not going to take you seriously. Not from a bad place, not from a place that wants to hurt you, not from a place that wants to disrespect you, but from a place that doesn't trust you, that doesn't believe you, right? It's not that they're just untrustworthy and disrespectful. No, they're respectful of what you do. Don't put it on the people who won't follow you properly. Put it on, think to yourself, what am I doing? Am I preaching one thing and then doing another and then expect them to respect me or follow me or do as I say? If you preach for equality in your organization, but then you discriminate, for example, why would your people or your employees or your students or whatever will be like, oh, this person, uh, your dog is Elvis Presley reincarnated? That's great. Is his name Elvis? Anyway, you want to be the boss, you want to be the bomb, you want to be the OG, you want to be the leader. Practice what you preach, lead by example. That's what people follow, that's what people respect. And if they don't follow or respect, maybe consider that you're sending mixed messages. Guys, these readings are the real stuff when it comes to my approach. I'm not here to like, you're listening to this reading because you presume to be a seer, right? Well, with great seeing comes great responsibility. This King of Wands, now this reading is getting a different twist. Wants something or is doing something. What is it? What's going on? Fool. This King of Wands is learning something about the merit in not wanting to lead, not wanting to be the North Star, not wanting to be the boss, just doing the thing, right? Acting on the thing and in the way that you believe in, just being very genuine about it and very true to the path that you walk. And that will invite naturally, energetically, serendipitously. People are in alignment with that or need, their spirit seeks to be in alignment with that. So that will kind of happen without you wanting. The more people ask for likes and shares and whatever and subscribings, the less they seem to get it. Not because they're not worthy of it, but because it's like, I don't want to say it's cringe to ask, and I do it myself sometimes. But there's something about it that echoes, I am not focused on my work and whatever teachings. I'm focused on, are you listening to me? Are you following me? And it's like when someone is in resonance or actually is inspired by what you're doing or what you're teaching, they will choose naturally to do whatever applies, right? If you have a school, they'll choose to sign up. If you have a channel, they'll choose to follow, etc. And that will create an authentic students or authentic following, right? There's nothing worse for an algorithm to have a lot of followers that you somehow entice to follow, but they don't engage, right? Because they're not inspired. That showcases, you know, it's not real. It's not real following. It's not like, so just whatever it is that you're doing, whatever it is that you're believing, whatever it is that you aspire, just focus on the essence of the thing. Just do without worrying about who's watching, what are they thinking, where it will lead to, what it will give. Um, Smart house. I'm grateful for you. But can you please actually be smart? Ah, okay. Anything else about this for seers? The Emperor. Okay, you're about to stumble into some sort of leadership position, or you already are in a leadership position, but this process that we're seeing here in this reading is kind of getting you to step into your position, but like fully and in essence, in a way that really inspires others and has a sense of authority in the field that you're in. Um, you yourself are either a high ranked or a um, highly regarded leader of some sort. Um, and some of you have kind of drifted away from that, but now you're back on track. You keep getting bumped. Now the Hierophant and the Sun. So your wisdom, your knowledge, your leadership is going to really shine and appreciated and respected and acknowledged. And without you putting an effort, right? That's when you'll shine the brightest. When you'll just start acting, doing, deciding based on what you presume and what you teach. That will bring a lot of success. Good luck. Okay. Woo! Next is shifters. 40 minutes and 10 seconds. Shifters. Message for shifters for now when you're watching this. What do my shifters need to know now? What do my shifters need to know now? Message for shifters. First card out, 9 of Pentacles. A sense of self. Pride. Some of you are getting triggered by it. I'm a shifter. I don't have a sense of self or pride. Then you're not a shifter. You don't know what shifter is. Oh, don't get upset. I'll explain. You don't have a sense of self and you don't have a sense of pride, but you're getting upset when I challenge you. That kind of shows you do have a sense of self and that you do have pride. I'll explain. When one shifts, if there's nothing to shift from, no existence to shift from, and no existence to shift into, what exactly are you shifting? You want to call it the illusion of self, go right ahead. So you're, or a temporary current expression of a self, well, yeah, that is an alignment of shifting. There's a self, and then it shifts to a different type of self. But you can't shift from one type of self to another type of self if there is no self. Shifting is reliant on the existence of the notion of a thing that has a definition of some sort, characteristics, self. In order for you to be a shapeshifter, a shifter, mutable. Okay, this is an opportunity to explain the notion of the Merkaba. Merkava. Merkaba is Hebrew. Merkava, it means chariot. And it's a 3D Star of David. It's from Kabbalah and Judaism. It's where it's from. I'm not trying to associate it just to that, but when people ignore that, they're ignoring giving credit to where it's from. It's from the esoteric system of Judaism. That's where the Merkaba is from, whether you like it or not. FYI, theological eraser of Judaism is also anti-Semitism. Just saying. Anyway, the Merkaba is a vehicle to transfer consciousness. Consciousness moves from one thing to the other, not by not existing in one thing or the other, but by embedding itself to one thing and through it changing to another thing. That is the notion of the Merkaba. So it doesn't exactly like a vehicle take you from one thing separately to another. You are that thing. Okay, I feel like I may have like gone too deep in the rabbit hole with this concept, but why not? Your shifters, let me give you the benefit of the doubt that you can handle this. A little bit advanced, but okay. So it's not that you're moved from sand to the ocean because you were sitting on the sand and now you're in the ocean, meaning your consciousness. You were the sand, and now you are the ocean. You're not this mutable, inexistent in and of itself. I mean, you are. That's the thing. It actually, ironically, it confirms the notion of a no actual self, but only by accepting the notion of the self. If you don't accept that there is sand, that the self of the sand has the characteristics of being sand, then the nothingness, aka your consciousness, can't really embed itself in there. You got to have a ground to sit in. Emptiness needs a vessel to contain it. I feel like I'm starting to lose some of you guys' focus. Emptiness needs a vessel to be contained as emptiness. Emptiness, your consciousness, the no self. Sand is just an example, it's an analogy, but it's just a good thing to think about, right? In order to understand it. So it goes into, it dives into the sand, it becomes the sand. The emptiness within the vase becomes the vase. Let there be light, thank you. Magic. And then when it wants to shift from sand and say to water, it goes and dives into the water and becomes one with the water. So that emptiness, that notion of a self, we're talking to shifters right now, and we've got a sense of self. So we got to, dissect it and talk about it. It's a great opportunity. Should be a 13th element, maybe. Should I make a 13th element about the Merkaba? Okay. The no self, aka the emptiness, becomes the sand, manifests as sand, and then it manifests as water. And the only way for you to shift between one existence to another is to accept your inexistence, right? However, that inexistence, in order to shift from one thing to another, has to accept the existence of one thing versus another and be willing to become that. So everything is molecules, right? Everything is the same. We are one. However, a group of molecules condensed itself and got manifested as a table. It's no longer everything. Now it's a table. It has a self. If you break it down, it will also not have a self and stop being a table. If you burn it, it will go back to being its molecular structure, but molecular non-structure. But right now, it has a structure. So it comes from the nothing, but now it's something. Same with you. You come from the ether, okay? You come from the nothing, but now you're something. You have a name. You have your hair color, you have your height, you have your life story, you have your ID, you have your family members. If you want to go visit a family member, you're not just going to randomly waltz into any home. You're going to go to the specific address of that specific person. You're not going to go into a stranger's house and be like, well, it's okay, everything is the same and there is no self, so I'm visiting you because you're my mom now today. And they're like, calling the police. Not because they're not advanced spiritually, but for the same reason that you would call the police. Someone is invading their home with uninvited and calling them mom. You know? Maybe they'll offer you tea. I don't know. Maybe they're exceptional, but most likely they'll freak out. Um, so, shifter, you have a self. You have a sense of pride. That's not contradictory to being a shifter. If anything, if you know anything about being a shifter, you'll be like, yeah, today this is my sense of self. Tomorrow I may change and be someone else or something else. It's possible. Not like completely, you're not going to turn into a wolf tomorrow. Okay. No offense to all the self-perceiving werewolves, but I define myself as a werewolf. Okay, well then go sniff shit. Go eat poo to cover your tracks. What? Go chew on raw meat, uncooked. What? You're a wolf? No, and yes you can because that's how you define yourself. Okay. It's not enough to define yourself. The chariot doesn't just lets you don't shapeshift by now I'm defining. I defined myself sand yesterday. Tomorrow I'll define myself water. You gotta be the sand. And then tomorrow you gotta be the water in order to be able to say that. Can you actually be a wolf? Is it enough to refer to yourself, to define yourself, to feel like a wolf in order to be a wolf? If the answer is no, shut the fuck up. That's presumptuous. Okay, I'm getting that these readings, these seeker, seer, shifters readings are gonna be a hoot because I'm stepping it up with my messages. I've been very, very easygoing with you guys for a while. I think maybe Spirit is kind of calling for a upgrade in approach because I can feel the tense triggers out there amongst these spiritual experts that I'm kind of calling out on their bullshit. Okay. All right. So for those of you who are truly what claim to be, who is the sense of self of you right now and why it's coming up? Wow, this has been a long. You don't like it. 7 of Pentacles. Okay, change. By finding the things about being what you are or how you are or where you are that are really awesome, focusing on the joy of it and celebrating, even if it's like 1% of where you're at or what you're doing right now that you can appreciate. Really, really focus on that. And so it has to be a real thing that you really like or appreciate and are grateful for, even if it's very small, so that the joy and the celebration are genuine, so that it's really energetically authentic, not just a mantra that you say mentally and use your words, but it's not in alignment with how you actually feel. Something that you really appreciate and really happy about, even if it's small, and celebrate it and focus it and think about that. That will create the energy of consistent joy and gratitude and a sense of abundance. And that will manifest something that is also in alignment with abundance and joy, that you will finally find yourself, that you will finally also, but suddenly find yourself redirected towards. It's a method of manifestation. Watch my True Secrets of Manifestation. It's in the 13th Element playlist. One of my, I think it was my first 13th Element. So if you go to that playlist, go really back. And then that newfound sense of self that you want to shift into will kind of present itself to you after you do that. Happy Saturday, Patrick. Welcome. 10 of Cups. You'll find a sense of self that is that is more fluid, right? The cups as opposed to the earth. And you'll have an easier time going back and forth, in and out from different states of a sense of self that you have that sometimes are contradictory, or now you feel like they might be contradictory, but there is a place for you where you can have both worlds, where you can be that thing and you can be that thing, where you can have that and you can have that. There's a middle way, there's an integrated way. There's something in your life that you feel like you have to choose either this and that. I'm getting, you can have both. You can do both. There is a way. Maybe not necessarily in the structure that you're in now. Maybe the structure needs to change, or maybe you want to you need to move into a different structure of something or create a new structure. But there is, you can be this and that. Awesome. I'm really pleased with these readings. I really like where it led us to. I hope it was helpful and inspiring. Stay magic, stay true. I love you. Bye for now.